I'm not starting with the gala. Everyone would start with the gala. I'm starting with the flight home from Lisbon, which was long and unremarkable, and during which I watched two films I've already forgotten and ate a packet of crackers that tasted like the inside of a cardboard box. I was happy on that flight. Tired and full of the particular satisfaction of someone returning from somewhere good. I want to record that. I was happy before I landed. I've been trying to write this for 3 weeks. This is the 4th attempt. Beth Harmon messaged me while I was still in the rideshare from the airport. We know each other from a professional network. We've met in person twice, maybe 3 times. She sent a link and wrote, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know. This is beautiful what people are doing for you." I opened it, my photograph, my name, a diagnosis I have never received from any doctor in any country, a fundraising total that had reached, at the moment I read it, $147,000, a gala, tonight 20 minutes from my apartment, described as a culmination, a keynote, a check presentation. My sister Lydia listed as the organizing force behind all of it. I remember thinking I should feel more. I sat in the back of that car and read the page twice and kept waiting for the feeling to arrive. It came eventually. It just took longer than I expected. And when it did, it wasn't what I would have predicted. It wasn't rage. It was something more like the specific loneliness of realizing you've been misread your entire life by someone who was supposed to know you. Here's a memory I keep returning to, and I'm not sure why. Lydia was 17. I was 14. I'd failed an English class and hidden the report card, and our parents found out anyway. Lydia covered for me, built a story, delivered it calmly, redirected the conversation until the temperature in the room dropped. Our parents believed her. I was grateful for years. I'm only now understanding that the covering wasn't for me. The covering was because Lydia's understood already at 17 that being the one who holds things together gives you something, a position, a kind of authority that looks like love. I mistook it for love. I think she may have too, and that's the part I can't resolve. I called Ruth Calloway from the car. She's a district attorney. We'd been introduced through a colleague and had stayed in loose contact for about a year. I'd never imagined using her number this way. The call was short. She asked me specific questions. I answered them. She said she could be at the venue by 8. I went home. I showered. I put on the dress I'd bought in Lisbon at a small shop near the waterfront. Green, a little formal, something I'd purchased without a specific occasion in mind. I hadn't worn it yet. I got back in the car, and I want to be clear here in this letter about why. I didn't go to stop Lydia. I went because I needed to be in the room. I needed to take up space that had been spoken for without my permission. That was the only thing I was certain of. The gala was beautiful. That's an uncomfortable thing to write, but it's true. Lydia has always had taste. The room was candlelit. The flowers were tall. The guests were well dressed and genuinely moved. I stood at the back and watched my own face cycle on a screen. A photograph I didn't recognize, me looking downward, looking fragile in a way I don't think I actually am, and I felt the specific wrongness of being grieved by strangers who'd been given a story about me that wasn't mine. Lydia was on stage. She was crying. I want to be honest. I don't think the tears were entirely false. I think Lydia had told the story so many times that she'd found something real inside it. That might be worse. I'm still deciding. I walked forward when Ruth arrived. The room shifted as I moved through it, people recognizing me from the photographs, the dissonance of it registering on their faces. I stepped onto the stage. I took the microphone. I said my name. I said I was not ill. I said I had returned from a residency in Portugal and come here directly. I introduced Ruth Calloway, and I stepped back 40 words, maybe. It was enough. I keep being surprised that it was actually enough. Lydia looked at me the way you look at something you believed you'd accounted for that turned out to be unaccountable. And then she looked away. That's the moment I returned to, not anything I said. Not Ruth's address to the room, just Lydia, looking away. I don't know what it meant. I don't know if it was shame or calculation or something else entirely. I've constructed several explanations and believed each of them temporarily. It's been 3 weeks. I haven't spoken to Lydia. The investigation is ongoing. Ruth's office handles what it handles, and I answer questions when asked and try not to think about what the outcome will mean for Lydia specifically, because when I do, I feel something I don't have a clean name for. My mother has called 4 times. I've answered twice. The conversations were careful. She didn't defend Lydia directly, which I suppose was its own kind of answer. I don't know what I want from Lydia after this. That's the honest version. Not that I can't forgive her. I don't know yet whether I can or can't. I haven't found the floor of it, but that I'm no longer sure who she is beneath the 30-year story I built about her, and I don't know if that's something you can recover from in a relationship. Finding out the architecture was wrong. I'm going back to Portugal in the fall. The residency offered an extension, and I accepted before I'd thought it through, which is maybe how I make my best decisions, before the thinking catches up and complicates everything. I keep returning to the photograph, the one they used on the gala page. I don't know when it was taken. I don't know what Lydia saw in it that made her choose it over all the others, what quality she was looking for, what story it told that the others didn't. I think that might be the thing I most want to understand. I'm not sure I ever will.